It's the show the establishment warned you about.
And welcome back to the Dr. Tommy Show, the most listened to concierge medicine morning show in the entire galaxy. Thank you for joining us. And if you are interested in learning more about our practice, go to the new website at drtommy.com. And if you're interested in learning about Atlas MD, which is the preferred electronic medical record for membership medicine practices across the entire nation, go to drtommyshow.com and click on special offer for Atlas MD. And you can use Atlas MD for free for 60 days. That's a $600 value for the low price of $0. And you can be up and running in about 5 minutes. Upload your logo, put in your email address, and you can start texting patients. You can start enrolling patients. You can start doing all that stuff in the web-based Atlas MD, which is available across all platforms, except for Opera.
Except for Opera.
Yeah. Opera is some type of web browser. I saw on the Atlas MD Facebook support group that they can use it across anything as long as it's not Opera or old versions of Explorer. And I use Google Chrome. And you use Google Chrome, right? Mm-hmm. Except on my iPhone, I use Safari.
Yeah. Yep.
And we are back today joining you live from Tampa, where we conduct concierge medicine operations daily, and we also conduct podcasting weekly on Wednesdays. And it's a little bit of a slow news cycle, and that is good news because that means there's nothing terrible going on in the news that we have to report to you about. But there is some news, and we'll cover some of that. One of the first things I wanted to cover was, oh, look at this little squirrel. This little squirrel is so thirsty. This is indicative of the terrible heat that we're suffering from in Florida. And it is a little squirrel. It says, "Nothing squirrely here, just thirsty work." This parched squirrel casually reached out for a Grand Canyon visitor's water bottle and drank every last drop.
Oh, that's so cute.
And that is indicative of the kind of heat that we're suffering from here in Florida. Isn't that interesting? We go from, in Florida, we go from hot to cold and within a matter of days almost,
yes,
it seems like.
We
but
do.
We're currently in a heat spell.
Well, I would much rather deal with heat than cold any day.
Even now in your state?
Yes, I think so. Even though I feel very hot most of the time, I would much rather deal with
heat than cold.
The cold just, it's uncomfortable too. It's just hard to get warm.
Yeah. And we have Kaylee with us today, but she's choosing to be off camera. She is home from school for the summer and is doing piano lessons and also doing teaching to her imaginary students upstairs.
Yes. And so she's teaching you a little bit about the piano.
And she has also recently done piano lessons. So that's an interesting thing for people who are newly family with children like myself, is what to do with the kids during the summer. And one of the things that we are doing with Kaylee is
shipping her away to Myrtle Beach.
Shipping her to Myrtle Beach for a week, and then also piano lessons.
Yes, and she's doing open gymnastics on Friday. And and she's going to be doing a free soccer clinic in Wesley Chapel.
And then before you know it, back to school.
And school, I believe, starts August 10th. And that's, I mean, in 2 months, summer goes by really quick. When you were a kid, did you think the summer went by quick?
It seemed like it lasted a long time.
I thought so too. But when you have kids, I mean, I think it goes by really quick. But, you know, maybe, I don't know how Kaylee feels.
I don't know either. Kaylee, does it go by quick or slow? Slow. She says slow.
You know, some parents might argue that. They might think that it drags, especially if you have multiple children. Yep.
So Kaylee's learning piano, and so is Madison. And also music theory at the same time. So that's fun. That's at Sam Ash.
And I'm listening. So last night we've got Madison and Kaylee playing the piano. You were playing the guitar. And I was baking.
And you were baking. Banana muffins.
Yeah, but it didn't come out too well.
So one of the things I was looking at Twitter, trying to figure out what to talk about. Usually I just go to Twitter to see what the headlines are. And they said that Andrew McCabe, who was the former deputy director of the FBI, who was fired in March. So this guy was a deputy director of the FBI and was apparently a source of leaks, or accused of being a source of leaks against the Trump administration. And then he was fired. Actually, he went on leave in November. And then he was going to be on leave until March, when he was going to retire with full benefits, like $200,000, whatever his pension was for the rest of his life. He's 40-something years old, not a very old man.
Mm-hmm.
And so when that happened, Donald Trump tweeted that Andrew McCabe had gone on leave and he was going to be gone for 90 days. And he said something like, something to the effect of, "Wow, can he last that long?"
Mm-hmm.
Well, two days before he was to retire with full pension benefits, he got canned.
He sure did,
and lost his pension. And he got canned on he got fired on the advice of the FBI, FBI Advisory Committee. Somebody.
Do you think
his own organization?
Do you really think he's not getting his pension though?
I think he gets maybe part of it, but not the full pension. Anyway, the FBI Advisory Committee is the one who fired him, or advised that he be fired. Okay, so then Donald Trump fired him, or somebody in the Justice Department, maybe Jeff Sessions fired him. Whoever was responsible for firing him fired him. And so we were told that this was a witch hunt. Andrew McCabe was a valiant person, honorable, trying to expose the corruption deep within the rotten Trump administration. And he was doing all this goodwill. And they kept saying, and you see the same thing with James Comey, is anytime they get criticized, James Comey or Andrew McCabe or even John Brennan, former CIA director, they say, the president will say something about John Brennan is bad, or John Brennan or Andrew McCabe or somebody in this department, or James Comey is something negative. And then that person will say, I will not allow Donald Trump to besmirch the character of the FBI. The FBI are solid citizens. And, I will not allow that. So that's kind of a tactic that you use. Like if someone said, Tommy McElroy is a bad doctor. And I would say, I will not allow you to say that family physicians are bad people. Family physicians are some of the finest people I've ever met. You criticize me, I'm going to spread
everyone falls under you.
So anyway, so here's a Chuck Woolery on this is Chuck Woolery, formerly of Love Connection and other things. Anyway, he's on Twitter. He says, at Chuck Woolery, McCabe went from, quote, "I'm innocent, I'm going to sue Trump," to offering a plea deal for immunity in a little less than 3 months. In the headline from bluntforcetruth.com, former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe was fired in March, a little more than 24 hours. Well, I don't have the rest of it. Anyway, the short of it is that he has through his lawyer has offered to the Congress or the committee that's investigating to allow if he was granted immunity, he'll testify.
Okay.
If he's granted immunity. If he's not granted immunity, he has suggested that he will plead the fifth.
No.
So he won't say anything.
Okay.
So that's interesting, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So this guy was going to be, this is the guy that he was going to sue Trump, and Trump was a bad person. And now he says, I want immunity. Interesting, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And then what else we got? Mike Lee on Twitter says, Donald Trump says, this is from at Donald Trump. The historic rescissions package, I don't know if that's a misspelling, we've proposed would cut back $15 billion in wasteful spending. So that's good.
What was that?
They put forward some program to cut back $15 billion in government spending, which is a penance.
Like what, trips?
I don't know. It said wasteful spending. I guess redundant programs.
Dinners.
But remember that video I did of all the agencies A to Z and how long it just went on for 4 minutes at a pretty healthy clip of this agencies rolling by, bam, 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 bam. And if you want to see that, go to the YouTube channel and look up federal agencies A to Z. But anyway, they're going to cut back $15 billion. So that's another news item. And the last news item, it says, Fox News anchor apologizes on air for using photo of praying Eagles players to accuse them of kneeling. So I guess some players were kneeled in the end zone praying, and Fox News ran it and said they were kneeling alongside a graphic about how they were disinvited from the White House.
I did read a little bit about that. I didn't know what it was about, though. I was not able to get into, I didn't get to read it further. So the news anchor took a picture of the Eagle players.
They ran footage of the players praying.
But they were praying, and they're saying that they were kneeling.
And then they ran it and accused them of kneeling.
Oh,
which
wonderful.
Philadelphia players have done. But that's it. That's all the news. So that's example of none of this was really important to me. I don't care, really. I think the McCabe one's kind of interesting.
Well, right now in the
I
news,
could care less, really. But that's a good sign, is because that means there's nothing terrible going on in the world. Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's nothing so terrible that it supplanted this, which is basically tabloid trash type news. That's what the major news cycles are.
Right now they're so focused on this cake issue.
Oh, what?
The cake issue.
Oh, the cake issue. Oh, the baking the cakes.
Yeah. I mean, that's all you hear right now on the radio.
Oh, yeah. Baking the cakes. Whether or not you should bake a cake for this or that person. That's the Supreme Court.
Yes.
That's what's in the Supreme Court. The highest court in the world is deciding whether or not you should be able to bake a cake or you should not bake a cake. Or well, anyway. Hopefully, that's a sign that, so much of what is in the news is just garbage and not important. But that's the squirrel there. And then, oh, that's us. That's not what I meant to do. But that's about it. There's not much going on in the news today. And that's a good sign. That's a sign that the summer is upon us. It's a time to relax, time to get back to what's important is your family. And also enjoying your family, enjoying graduation. We just had graduation when Madison's taking her last exam today, and then she'll be off to college. So we're going to have Madison going off to college in about, what do we figure, 2 months and 2 weeks? Yes,
she can check into her dorm on the 16th of August.
So she'll be gone 2 months and 2 weeks to college.
Her last day of work is going to be August 4th.
Yep.
So she'll have a couple weeks to, get packed and, get everything ready that she needs to take off, take with her. So
that's happening. Then Kaylee's going to have her busy summer, which we talked about. Then she'll be going into third grade.
I know. Can't believe it.
Then God willing, around September 12th, we'll have a new baby.
Sometime that week, maybe the 14th. Who knows? We'll see. Yeah, yes, but sometime that week.
Baby frying pan, as it's been nicknamed. Kaylee's saying off camera, Carson. Or what's the other name? Or Olivia. But we nicknamed it Frying Pan because we were making fun one day in the kitchen. And I was saying, Kaylee, what should we name the baby? And she's like, I don't know. I said, well, maybe we should name it Apple. Like Gwyneth Paltrow named her child Apple, I think.
Yes, she did.
And then I said, well, maybe we should name it Tree. And then we started going back and forth. And then somehow we mentioned Frying Pan. And that sounded like a good name. So now Frying Pan has been the placeholder name for the baby until September, when it will be Carson or Olivia, unless we change it. God willing, that happens. What? You gonna say something? No. But that's exciting. So I guess no news is good news, and it's also good news whenever there's I don't know. It's just a good time to unplug from the media, and if you can, remember that just because the news is on 24 hours a day doesn't mean there is news 24 hours a day.
Right. Absolutely.
And there's no need to fill your life with that, because a lot of it is just manufactured garbage that's meant to make you just sad.
Well, yes, exactly. The news is very sad. I read, I was reading an article yesterday, and after this article, I just stopped. I haven't been on the news since, but a baby was found in the water yesterday, approximately 2 weeks old. Infant, an infant, I believe a little girl. They're not able to distinguish her nationality because they think she's been in the water for a full 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, they're trying to locate the parents, the mother. What could have happened? What could have happened?
I don't know. Yeah, it's
anyway. I read that and I thought, God, what?
Yeah, if you read the news though, you'll be depressed.
It is depressing. It's sad. People getting killed. Yes, Kate Spade taking her own life.
Committed suicide apparently. I was just reading earlier. It said that David Cassidy from the Partridge Family, this was the big news. He had lied about his history of his his health before he died. He said that he was suffering from dementia, but in actuality, he had gone back to drinking and was having diminished mental capacity because of his liver failure, and he was drinking again. Just bad news after bad news.
Well, apparently Kate Spade, she suffered from depression and possible bipolar, and she was a drinker too.
Yeah. So anyway, that's just a smattering of why. Turn off the news. Turn off the media in general, even social media. Turn off this podcast right now. But it's just, a lot of it's just designed to make you sad, and especially the stuff that comes from the central planning agencies of the government, designed to make you sad, designed to make you look for help. It's crisis, 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 and crisis after crisis. You'll see we're in a healthcare crisis, because a crisis means then you have to have someone swoop in and take control and help you. Who was that? The government, always. If it wasn't for the government interfering with medical care, we'd have a lot better health system now than we have. But because the government is purported to be itself this administrator of crisis repair, then we have all these problems that crop up. There's Milton Friedman once said that there has been no program instigated by the government to solve a problem that has not made that problem worse. Then he went through program after program that showed it. So poverty programs, poverty is probably worse now. Health programs for sure,
Most
Medicare,
definitely.
Medicaid, the delivery of medical care to older people and poor people is almost undoubtedly more expensive and overall worse. And then people say, well, how's that? How could that be? Because if you look at the amount of waste, amount of time, and it's not even the direct amount of money that's spent, but the indirect money, the money that's spent for individual practices trying to meet obligations to be billing Medicare and Medicaid. All that money, if you put it all together and then say, now what if we just took that money and used it for the care of old people or poor people on a local basis, the care would be so much better. Anything else? Kaylee? Kaylee didn't want to talk. She didn't want to be on camera.
It's unusual for her.
Unusual. But she's not shy. She says she's shy. She's not shy.
We know that it's not the truth.
40 years ago today, apparently, the Cars, and this is from UltimateClassicRock.com, came out with their debut album, The Cars. And for those of you rock fans out there, the Cars are one of the biggest bands of the 80s, called a new wave band, but they really weren't new wave. Kind of a new wave, but a lot of synthesizers, but not necessarily all synthesizers. And they had two singers, and today we're going to play Let the Good Times Roll, which is featuring the vocals of Rick Ocasek, chief songwriter and vocalist. No, chief songwriter, but not chief vocalist. If you look at a lot of the songs from the Cars, people don't realize this. A lot of the hits from the Cars are sung by Benjamin Orr, who was the bass player. And the way you'll see this now is if you look at the Cars when they tour, Benjamin Orr has died of cancer since the Cars have toured recently. And he died of pancreatic cancer, I think, in 2006. Anyway, he sang a lot of the hits, and now Rick Ocasek tries to sing those songs as best he can. But you can tell that when they sing a lot of these hits, you're like, well, I didn't realize that was not sung by Rick Ocasek, because he's trying to sing Ben Orr. Just like if Ben Orr was trying to sing Rick Ocasek's song, it wouldn't be exactly right. But anyway, to the point, this is a Good Times Roll. This is from 40 years ago, and thank you all for joining us. Go to drtommyshow.com for media, and go to drtommy.com for the concierge practice in Tampa, and join us online, and then join us in the office, and join us on iTunes, and click the bell to subscribe on YouTube after you've subscribed. And until next time, Kaylee, do you have anything else to say? No, nothing. Until next time, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.